So, and the problem with that too is when you miss the net, not only are you losing a great opportunity for rebounds, but the puck is now going out the other way. So now you're losing zone time too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of one and done because they're missing the net. And
absolutely.
you're not getting a rebound, you're not getting other opportunities, second chance, third chance opportunities.
Hey everyone, welcome to the third episode of the Men in Orange and Black with the rocking Steve Murray. I am Matt Craig. Steve, how you doing today, bud? What's going on?
I'm actually doing well because my son's hockey team won in overtime today.
Oh,
So
look at that.
I'm
Nice.
actually in a good mood.
That's good.
And I had Raising Cane's chicken for the first time. It was good.
I love it.
So
I love it. Yeah, I'm somewhat okay. Although I'm starting to really come to the conclusion that this is a definite rebuilding year, and the Flyers are not going to be playoff contenders.
what? What are you talking about?
What? How could I possibly? We'll get into that a little bit, a little bit
What
further.
rock have you been living on?
Well, it's all about getting into the playoffs in this city. And apparently some people don't realize that this is a rebuilding year and has been a real rebuilding year for multiple seasons now. And I think we're going to come to that conclusion. But before we do, let's dive into what we're going to actually be talking about. Of course, we're going to be talking about the last 2 weeks of the regular season that we have not covered yet. So this is between the Washington back-to-back heading all the way through to today's Boston Bruins game, which was a dud of a game. So over the last 2 weeks. So we're going
Which means a lot of what you hear for the Carolina game will be moot by the time you
exactly.
hear
That
this
will be
podcast.
episode 4. Exactly. Second period, of course, we'll do our studs and duds as we've done before, but we're going to also throw in a little nugget called the concernometer, whereas Steve likes to call it the calm meter, which I was like, calm? What was that all about? But
No. Com meter would be redundant.
Yeah, it's-
C-O-M meter. M is for meters. So
Yeah.
concern.
meter.
Com.
meter. Yeah. Would be ridiculous.
Yeah, the com meter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll look ahead, of course, to the next 2 weeks in the schedule. And there might be some light at the end of the tunnel, although, latter part of November, we'll have to see where that goes. But, Steve, let's go ahead and dive right in. First period here. Of course, we had the Washington back-to-back. The first game, of course, was at home against Washington. Yeah, that's an understatement. 2 shorthanded goals given up on the power play really kind of did the team in. I did not expect that to take place, but honestly, it was kind of more of the same. Really, if you stop to think about it, defensively they were kind of loosey-goosey, and the fact that you give up 2 shorthanded goals on the power, while you're on the power play is not good. They lose 4-1. Not good. Obviously, we give up 2 shorties, right?
No, and I think the stat was Washington had 1 shorthanded goal all last season. So you allowed them to double their previous year's output in one game. In one period, actually. It was both in the first period.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Not exactly ideal. Not exactly ideal at all. They go to the next night, and, of course, Fedotov gets the backup start. It wasn't very good. 6-3 loss in Washington.
It was probably actually his best game.
Which is ironic, giving up, what was it, like 4 goals, I think, and then 2 empty
He gave
netters?
up 4, yeah.
Yeah,
2 empty netters. So he only was responsible for 4.
4.
But the second half of that game, he kept him in it. He made a big save on Dubois.
Okay.
Lazy ass Dubois. He made a big pad stop on him that really kind of helped kickstart the comeback attempt.
You also had a comment on an error on an empty net goal.
God! Well, the first empty net goal, Drysdale gets the puck in our zone, and he's looking to regroup, and he's on the right side, and he looks over at Zamula, who's standing near the bench, looking at him like, not calling for it, but in the body language of, yeah, I'm open.
Yeah.
And as Drysdale proceeds to start to make the pass, Zamula turns around and climbs onto the bench. Tippett hops on, looks like a deer caught in a headlight because he's like, should I touch it? Should I not? What do I do? And Washington proceeds to go. I think that was Dubois' goal.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. His first of the season. Congratulations. You got an empty net goal on a fluke play.
Unbelievable.
Now, Torts took the blame for it. He said, I was calling him off, but Zamula's got to know that he should be getting off.
Yeah.
And not present to Drysdale in that situation.
Yeah, you got to have like some sort of spatial awareness, especially like if you're in the middle of in that zone there. So yeah, that was a bummer.
Yeah.
Couple days off, and then you've got the Minnesota Wild at home. We were worried about that. Of course, if you look back at episode
previously
2,
unbeaten Minnesota Wild.
I mean, they were red hot. You got Gustafsson, who was their red hot goaltender. He proceeds to give up 6 goals, and then, of course, the Flyers with an empty netter. 7-5. What it was a wild game. No pun intended. But
if I knew where your screen was on the thing, I would smack you.
Yeah.
one of these.
One of these things. Ow. Anyway, but yeah, it was unbelievable. Of course, like Sean Couturier and Travis Konechny, each with 5 points. Michkov with 2 points. So it was like almost like a throwback to like when the Legion of Doom had like all those points. I'm just recalling like a game against Montreal where I think they had like 14 points combined, like in one game, but they blew them out of the building.
Yeah.
This was nip and tuck throughout the entire game. Nobody was playing any defense, it seemed like.
For sure.
I mean, it was totally an amazing game.
So a team that had given up more than 2 goals, I think, one time, which was their season opener. Yeah, we were totally expecting a 1986 shootout. That's like
wasn't even close to that. Yeah, we were expecting. I think it was like 2-1. I think going all the way back. But yeah, crazy. So it's like, okay, pretty hot. You got 7 goals there. Looks pretty good. You go against Montreal. You're competitive in the first period, and then the second period woes seems to be the problem child. What was happening? Give up 3 in the second. They lose to the Canadiens 4-3, even though they did come back to try and make it a game. Steve, your thoughts there on Kolosov? That was his first start.
Yeah, that was his first start. He had a bad goal to Caulfield where he had like Caulfield sat there for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And Kolosov was in position and he just let it squeak. He was not tight on the post.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. But other than that, all the other goals he gave up were I wouldn't put on him. And so it was, despite the loss, I think it was a fair debut for him.
Yeah.
The team waited till like the last 2 minutes to try to come back again. But,
sure.
Yeah, that was not another game where it was not quite the effort we were looking for.
Right. But then,
because of course.
Well, here's the thing, right? Okay, so you're going to Boston, and we were both kind of like, get a point. Somehow find a way to scrape a point out of there. It turns out that not only did they scrape 1 point, they got 2, and in regulation for the first time in 13 years, which I was not even aware of, Steve. I don't know if you were.
I was not until the broadcast said so.
Yeah.
It doesn't shock me thinking back.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. So you shut out the Bruins in their building, and it was like probably the most surprising result of the season. I mean,
because you expect David Pastrnak to score his usual 4 goals against us per game. So you're going to have to score at least 5 to win because Pastrnak alone is going to have 4.
Crazy.
And to come out of there 2-0, and I think they had 28 blocked shots or something crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, the amount of blocks that they had.
That was the start, as we're going to get to the next couple of games, of at least a solid defensive trend.
Yeah,
that they've now. Their defensive structure has come back to them.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God. Yeah. That carried over into St. Louis, like you said. Ryan Poehling with an amazing individual effort to get one of the assist helpers, actually. I think who was the goal? Hathaway scored it. Which was great because, you love that celebration afterwards. Hathaway kind of punching him in the chest going like, yeah, way to go. I mean, it was 1-on-5. It was tremendous effort by Poehling.
Ryan Poehling now has a concussion. and we'll be out for the next.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot, Garnet. Come on.
Yeah. Right.
But 2-1 against the Blues, and I'm thinking like, okay, you got 2 wins. You end the month 4-6-1, not too bad. And then of course today they lay an egg, 3-0 against Boston. So the Boston Bruins return the favor on us. And again, and the big news coming out of that game, of course, is Sam Ersson getting hurt. Skate blade pops off his skate. So you're thinking like, okay, that was something. And then like an equipment change, you think everything's okay. But it was the way that save looked. It looked like he hyperextended almost. It was kind of like, there was a little bit of a pull muscle, I think, there. Lower body injury.
You lose the skate blade, there's a danger that something might slip or whatever. So
yeah.
Everything I've seen up till now, we're recording at 8:30 on Saturday, November 2nd. So
yep.
You all will know much more by the time you hear this about his injury than we do now.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's serious, and they may have pulled him more of a precaution, like, you could probably play through it.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's not.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get him into a little bit of rehab because, it's not going to be easy. We'll talk about that in the third period with the schedule.
Yeah.
But looking at what they've got so far, Steve, you've got the great slide here. Why don't you go ahead and talk about it here?
Yeah, I was hoping for a little bit better than 4-7-1 to start. Are we? You've got the standings board back there. Are we out of the basement, or is Pittsburgh below us, or what?
I believe, just looking at it now, Pittsburgh is still down on the 8th as we record this. So
Okay.
I don't know if they're playing tonight. I'm just trying to bring that up. They are, and they are leading the Canadians 2-0 as we record this. So assuming that we will probably be back down in the basement after this is over. So yeah.
But yeah. So the record's not great. Goals scored is, let's see, so 31 in 12 games. What's that work out to per game?
That's definitely 2 per.
2. It's not. It's less than 3.
Yeah.
Which isn't ideal either. Goals allowed 44. So they're minus 13 overall. Although the last show we did, I think they were at minus 10.
Yeah.
So they haven't sunk, a lot more since then. The power play, unfortunately, has gone my stud of last show. Of course.
Yeah.
They've gone scoreless on the power play for the last 4 games. They're down to, by my calculation, 19.05%.
Which again is not. It's better clearly, but we're a little concerned now that they've been 0 for 10. They seem to be a little stale overall on the power play. Not getting many shots on the power play either.
Yeah. But the penalty kill on the plus side has much above league average at 88.37% for the moment. So that's good news. We are not allowing many power play goals. What I've seen from the last 3 games, I'm pleased as far as defensive structure because they're getting it together. They are playing as a unit in the defensive zone. They're blocking a lot of shots like they did last year.
Yeah.
The concern now is the offense and where that's gone because I guess they blew their load in the Minnesota game.
Yeah.
Their allotment was exceeded, and now they're paying the price for that.
Yeah. Considering that, essentially you had 7 goals against Minnesota following games 3, 2, 2, and 0. So in the last 4 games, you've scored 7 times. Not exactly ideal after a 7 spot against Minnesota.
Yeah.
So that needs to change. It
does. And you can look at the stats and say, well, they're not getting a ton of shots because I think today they had 20 shots. The St. Louis game, I think they were 21. So they've been like low 20s.
Yeah.
And haven't been generating a lot of shots. And we'll say, well, maybe shoot the puck more. I actually think their bigger problem is, and I think Torts acknowledges this, they're missing the net.
Yes.
They got a bunch of Mr. High and Wide. I feel like I've watched more games in this past 2-week segment than I had the previous one for that show.
Mm-hmm.
The highest danger chances they get,
they
miss the net. Like there was one, I guess it was the St. Louis game. Sanheim gets a prime scoring opportunity from the top of the circle.
Yeah.
Comes in, I'm like, oh man, this is a great chance. And whoop, high and wide. So, and the problem with that too is when you miss the net, not only are you losing a great opportunity for rebounds, but the puck is now going out the other way. So now you're losing zone time too. There's a lot of one and done because they're missing the net.
Absolutely.
And you're not getting a rebound. You're not getting other opportunities, second chance, third chance opportunities.
Yeah.
It's just so I think they're getting chances to score, but the team is so ice cold and maybe, grinding the stick into sandpaper.
It could be.
They're missing the net, and that needs to change. They need to start hitting the net with their opportunities, and I think that will help scoring. I think that's the biggest issue.
I think a great example of that would be Tyson Forrester. Forrester basically, like the Boston game especially, misses the net high and wide, but Emil Andre, to his credit, keeps the puck alive along the far wall, finds him again in the slot, and what does Forrester do? Puts it on net, and he beats Korpisalo clean, like through the 5-hole. It wasn't even close. I still want Tyson Forrester to shoot the puck every time he gets it, Steve. You know what I mean? He's got a rocket of a shot, and I want to see it more often. Yeah. And Jim Jackson even announced on the broadcast, he's like, we got to see more of this. We got to see him shoot more. And that's what I would want to see out of him. But to your broader point, the guys have got to start putting it on net. If they do that, they've got the better chances they've got instead of going for the high, wide, bar down shots. You do that basically in close, is what I understand. Basically, when you're playing in tight, you lift the puck up off you don't shoot it from like the slot out, trying to roof it, basically.
Well, I don't know that it's roofing as much as I think they're just being they're trying to hit a corner or something.
Yeah.
And to snap out of this funk, I think they're going to need to start shooting hard and low.
Yep.
To generate rebounds.
Yep.
Or pass off the goalie's pads.
And get those dirty goals. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Steve, did you happen to notice that we did switch sides? Episode
About
2?
Time.
Yeah.
About time.
So we're doing it again.
Do I slap you now? Which side?
Either side. It doesn't matter because I'll edit post, so that'll be fine.
Okay, so if I throw a punch this way, I'll also throw a punch this way just to be safe.
Oh, darn it. I was going to say, maybe I'll be on top of you.
Yeah, okay, so I'll punch you in the balls if it's this way, and I'll bonk you on the head.
Bonk you on the head the other way? Great. Okay. So now, second period, studs and duds. Steve, let's talk about our studs for the week, or the last 2 weeks, I should say. And I think this is going to be defensive themed since the Flyers have been playing a little bit better defense in some aspects. You had a very good stud of the week. What do you got? Who do you have?
I'm going to go with Risto.
Oh, there you go.
Stud.
Nice.
Cam, we failed to mention in the first period Cam York's injury, which is unfortunate because he's probably our top defenseman on the team. So Risto was elevated in the Wild game, if I remember correctly.
That's right, yeah.
To the first the first pair with Sanheim. And I think he's held his own. I think he's done a really good job.
Yeah.
I think he was playing well before that, but I think having to be forced into the top pair role, I think he's been very good. I think he's doing a good job being physical in front of the net.
Yeah.
Clearing pucks out, blocking shots. He even had a little bit of offense in the Wild game, which is great to see.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got it. Yeah, he's got a shot. So it's good to see him use it. So I'm thrilled with the way he's been playing since he's been elevated to that top pair, and hopefully it'll continue. And I don't have a stud curse because my stud last show was the power play, and look where that's gone now.
Yeah, exactly.
Fingers crossed that he can continue, but so far so good. I think from his top pair play. And when York comes back, hopefully Risto can slide more into a natural pairing for him.
Yeah.
But continue to excel, which would be fantastic.
Had the game winner, by the way, in that Minnesota game, where he bowled over.
That's true.
Yeah, Gustafsson. It was great. It was he
was in the defenseman in the other team's crease.
It's amazing. It's great. Dirty goals are good sometimes, so that's for sure. Mine, stuff for the week. I love me a defensive defenseman. I was a defensive defenseman playing with Steve years ago, roller hockey. Love blocking shots, getting the puck out of the defensive zone and up to my forward, carry it into the offensive zone. Nick Seeler, my man. I love you, man. That dude had a tremendous shift against the Wild. 5-on-3 penalty kill. Not only did he bat the puck out of the air into the corner, he then went to go get it and then dig it out of the corner to get it up off the wall and down the ice. Tremendous effort, tremendous defensive play.
Blocked the shot to even lead to that sequence.
Exactly.
Air, knockdown.
Goes to the corner, flips it out of the zone. Yeah. Tremendous. I love that dude. He is a vacuum cleaner. He's not like my iRobot that's come and killing me. No, but tremendous defensive effort. He's leading the way, I think, and having him back in the lineup to block shots and generate, help to generate the rush is going to pay off down the road. I think it's it's great to have him back. He's not injured. He's like 100%, I believe. So it's great to see him.
Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that the team started to refine its defensive identity.
Yeah. With him in the lineup. Yeah.
I mean, not right away, because I think he came back in one of the Washington games.
Yeah.
But needed a couple games to get his feet under him. But now that he's kind of in his rhythm, I don't think it's a shock that coincides with the defensive improvement that we've seen the last week or so.
Yeah. Now, also, we go over to our duds, and keeping the same thing on defense, we also have an idiot defenseman. I'll take this one. Igor Zamula, what the hell? Dude, come on. I know Torts was calling you off, and I know that the Torts basically said, hey, it was my bad. You got to do it, but spatial awareness. You got to know where you're doing. You got to know where you're being at, in the ice. And if Drysdale's looking at you and you're looking back at him, you cannot assume that he's going to, that Drysdale's going to go the other way with the puck. You got to be there for him. And you didn't. You bailed. And that sucks. And, it shows in his stats. I think if I remember right, we're looking at it was -10. I don't know what happened.
He is at. This does not include today's Boston game. But, well, he didn't play in today's Boston game, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So Igor Zamula is a -10 through 8 games played. And you failed to mention he was also the defenseman or the point man on the ice for both of the Capitals' shorthanded power play shorthanded goals.
Yeah.
By the way, just
not
those
good.
2 Washington games. Alex Ovechkin was rather invisible, I would say.
Well, he is like 56 years old. I mean, he's
his hair looks like he's 56 years old.
Yeah.
But I couldn't disagree with you. Zamula is second worst on the team in the plus-minus department, and that the 2 shorthanded goals were bad. The empty net goal gaff, despite what Torts says, was also not
bad either. Yeah, so
he's been fighting it.
He needs to be better, no question about it. He needs to be better, that kind of a deal.
Right.
So yeah.
Your
dud though, Steve,
really needs to be better.
Yeah, I'm starting to worry about this guy a little bit. I guess we could talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, Morgan Frost.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
This guy couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if you stood him 6 inches away from it right now. He had a 2-on-0 with Garnet Hathaway.
Yeah.
I forget what game it was now at this point.
Might have been Minnesota.
2-on-0, gaping wide open net, and he missed.
Yeah.
Like far side. Dude, you
please put your stick down. He didn't have a stick down.
Supposed to be the most talented center on this team offensively.
I'm starting to doubt it, Steve.
I mean, he's 25 years old at this point. We've been giving him opportunities. He had a chance handed to him on a platter this season. Hey, you get to start the season with Michkov.
Yeah.
Right? Like, who, by the way, Player of the Month, NHL Rookie of the Month.
Rookie of the Month. Yeah.
Rookie of the Month for October.
Huge shout out for him. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great job.
Yeah.
Now let's see, November, December, January, 7 more of those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He'll be a lock for the Calder.
There you go. How could you not give Rookie of the Year to a guy who gets all the Rookies of the Month?
Exactly. That's right.
But Frost, you had a chance to play with him when he was, hot. He's in a little bit of a slump now, but he was hot to begin the season. And Frost, I really don't know what to do with this guy. I mean, he's just not making smart plays.
He's clearly
not
fighting
doing.
it. Yeah.
He's clearly fighting. He's not doing what he's supposed to be. What he's supposed to be good at,
Yeah.
which is offense.
Yeah.
And it's not there.
Yeah. It has me worried. It really does have me worried. And it's like, if you're part of this new core of the Flyers, of a young, talented core, and the kids that they have to, develop and grow, the onus is on him. I don't think it's Tortorella, but I think it has more to do with the fact that this kid right now is not showing that he's capable of being.
He had another play. I just remembered now, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
He did a wraparound on, I forget what game that was. He had a wraparound opportunity. Goaltender's skate was not there, and he just didn't take the extra step to make sure he got around. And it ended up going out through the crease and gone.
And gone. Yeah.
And he hits posts. He's just, it's not there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's a great dud for the week, unfortunately. But yeah.
And he is the, as of pre today's Boston game, he was the worst plus minus on the team at minus 11.
That's not good.
No.
That's not good. So, yeah.
And look, you're not expected to play defense, but if you're not scoring, you better do something right. You're not doing anything right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. One of the things I think that you could get him to improve upon is his defense, Steve. Again, nowhere to go but up with him. And if he can try and turn it around, and that's the thing. But I don't know with this guy either. I know.
They've been trying for 2 and a quarter years? 2 and an eighth years now under Tortorella to improve this guy's defense, and nothing to show.
And nothing to show for it. So there's a certain amount of time before they start to pull the plug, I would think. And it's like, I don't know what you do with this guy.
So I guess that brings us to our calm.
Yeah, the concernometer. This is interesting because, as you know, the Flyer fandom can be a little bit, let's just say toxic out there. I've seen some snarky comments already with Tortorella. Oh, we should get rid of him. He's terrible. We're going to touch on him in this meter, but to lead off, Steve, how concerned are you right now with the goaltenders? Ersson, of course, getting hurt. Nothing you could do about that. Hope that he comes back after maybe a week off. He gets slotted back in. But you have Kolosov. Seems to have some promise, but then Fedotov has clearly not shown in his 3 starts that he's even capable of being a backup, and yet he's going to be forced into that role. Now, how concerned are you if you had a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're very concerned, 1 being not as much, where would you fall with the goaltenders? What do you think?
Right now, I'm probably about a 4.
Okay.
If you had asked me this question last week, I might have been like 8.
Yeah.
Kolosov, you're right, has got essentially 2 games under his belt, and I think he's been fine. He's
more athletic. He's quick. He's goes from post to post pretty good.
I think he can. I'm not ready to thrust him into a starting role. So
right.
Part of my elevation in the concernometer is Ersson's injury, because Ersson was playing pretty well the last few games. The Wild game was just a crazy game. I can't really put that. He let in a bad goal for the 5th one, but I can't put that game on him.
That was a Wild game to begin with.
Yeah, that was it. I swear to God.
Hey, I can't help it, especially if they've got a horrible name for a hockey team. Nice
jersey though.
Nice jersey.
So him being hurt after he had really sort of found his game, I hope it's not serious. As long as it's not serious, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Kolosov is okay. Fedotov looked better in the Washington game than he did the prior game.
Yeah.
He still has the issue where he's like, I'm tall. I'm going to look
over instead of going down below. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that Kim Dillabaugh, the goaltending coach, has been working with him and they're going to hopefully see progress, because if Erson's out a week, you might have to see him in the game, which
we will look into those slate of games because it's going to be a little bit rough down there. Especially on this upcoming road trip. For me, if you were to ask me on that, I would probably rate it at about a 5, maybe pushing 6. I'll leave it at 5 though. I'm only concerned of the fact that you've got Erson hurt. We don't know how long, of course, at the time of this recording. That's concerning for me. Obviously, he's like our number 1 goaltender for a reason. He's not exactly setting the world on fire with the save percentage, but then again, he was a backup to Carter Hart, so the guy who shall never be named.
But you gotta put those numbers in context. The last few games, he's been excellent.
He's been much better. Yeah.
The stop he made on Braden Shen at the end of the St. Louis game,
massive,
was huge.
Massive. Yeah.
That was a 10-bell save.
No question.
Absolutely important.
Yeah,
I think
I'm also
found his game.
I'm also with Bruce Shea too. I'm a fan of his. I love the way he's very steady. He's shown definite improvement in that regard. There's a calmness, a presence about him that's like, okay, we know that if something gets by, you got the last line of defense and he can make that save, and that's all you can ask for out of him. The question is backup. The question is, what is Kolosov going to prove now? Because he's going to be the guy for the foreseeable future until Erson gets back. Can Kolosov step in? And that's where I'm a little concerned. It's like we don't know because the sample size obviously is small.
It's small.
And you have a combined 5 NHL starts between the two of them, and it's this year. So we're just going to have
to 4. Kolosov didn't start.
That's right.
Game.
Yeah. So I guess
so
that's 5
NHL.
I guess that's 5 NHL appearances. So there you go.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be all that great, but we'll see how that goes. So let's talk about Tortorella. And I cannot believe I have to say this. Concerned with John Tortorella, Steve, overall. How concerned are you?
0. Is that an option?
That's an option 1 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever the lowest is.
Yeah.
Go 1 below that.
Yeah.
I don't. He's got them playing their defensive game again, so they're clearly buying into what he's teaching.
Yeah.
The offense I'm putting on the players because you can't score unless you hit the net.
Exactly. If you're hitting high and wide, how is that Tort's fault? Can someone from the Flyers fandom explain that to us? Because if they're shooting high and wide, that's not Tortorella telling them to shoot high and wide. It's like you've got a target. You got to hit it. It's not simple, Come on.
Maybe he should get out the shooter tutor, but instead of having them aim for the corners, just fire straight in the middle.
Yeah.
Because then that'll take high and wide, adjust for straight in the middle. Now that'll put you right in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Modified.
Right where you need to be.
Shooter tutor. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it, but it's like you can't always blame everything on the coach. And to your point, Steve, they're buying into what he's still selling.
Yeah.
No question. And, he's not going anywhere. Who are they going to hire outside of the organization? They'd have to go outside the organization. They had a whole training camp through, and admittedly, Torts was trying to figure out what the line combinations were. And newsflash, he may still have to do that because of the offense being as poor as it is. So there's just still a lot of mix and match. Just pump the brakes if you're out there, Philadelphia fans. Please pump the brakes. That's why we're here to help, in that regard. We're here to help. We're here to relax you guys.
Call Matt.
Yeah. Leave a comment below and tell us why we're, out of our minds. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, no, Matt's number is 26. No.
Finally, on this concern-o-meter, Steve, let's talk about that middle 6, your second and third lines.
So Forster, Tippett, Frost. I was going to call him Van Beesbrook. Because I call him Beezer. I'm like Van Beesbrook.
Yeah.
Now I'm blanking on his name.
Now I'm blanking
Farabee.
Farabee. Yeah. Farabee.
Where was I? Who else is in that middle 6?
Oh, gosh.
Brink.
And
I guess Lawton is in there.
I guess Lawton would be. Yeah, Lawton would be in there. How concerned are you of this entire group here, this middle 6?
The group overall, I would say 3.
Okay.
But there's variations in there. Like a guy like Forster, we were talking about him in the first period. He needs to shoot more. I think he's got a confidence problem right now. I was hoping that goal in Boston would get him going.
Yeah.
But he's still, like in the St. Louis game, I'm watching him. He's got opportunities to shoot, but he's passing it off.
Yeah. You got to let it rip.
That's a sign of a lack of confidence. You're
Yeah.
like, somebody else can score, so I'm going to pass it to them. He's got to shoot.
Yeah.
Tippett is Mr. High and Wide right now. That's, he's got 1,467 missed shots.
Yeah. And Morgan Frost is impersonating an NHL player right now.
Yeah, I don't know. He's the one,
Maybe.
if you asked me individually, I would be at like an 8 with him.
Yeah.
Because he's had 3 years, and he's 25 years old. I don't think we're going to see anything more than what he is now.
For me, I would say probably the middle six. I'd give it a 4. I think I would tend to agree with everything you just said. Maybe I'm a little bit more concerned because, I mean, if you're going to have good lines in the NHL, you got to have like rolling lines. The really good NHL teams have rolling lines. Anybody can score at any point. Right now, I think the problem with the Flyers is your middle six. If anything, they're passing the puck way too much. It's the Adam Oates disease. You have to put the puck on the net. To your point, I want to see Tyson Forster, if you're out there, please shoot. I don't care if you miss. I don't care if even the goalie makes an easy save on you. Dude, you got a rocket of a shot. You're blessed with a shot like that. Keep shooting the puck at the net. I don't care if it gets blocked. I don't care if you feel like you're looking up at the sky. Keep shooting the damn puck. Don't do anything else. Don't pass it. Just shoot, baby.
Don't skate. Don't drink water.
Just
don't
go out there.
Just shoot pucks.
Just shoot the puck. Please just shoot the puck. I'm telling you. I mean, great things will happen if you shoot it, man. I'm telling you. And
Farabee and Brink the last couple of games have been better.
They've been better. Yeah, I would agree.
So, that's why my concern is
Bobby Brink
lower.
coming back in the lineup. You had Jet Luchenko going back to the OHL, which was the right call. It was like one of those things where it was like, okay, wasn't quite ready. And everybody kind of expected that. But Brink coming back in the lineup, that definitely helped out a lot, and he's been a welcome addition. So I think that's kind of tempered my expectation, my concern of that middle six. But again, like Frost, let's go. Yeah. Like, I don't know how many more chances you got, dude. Let's go.
He is like the prime change of scenery guy right now. Mm-hmm. That's just what I see out of him.
Yeah. All right, now we flip back. How about that, Steve? We flip back again. Third period, as we look ahead, the Flyers' schedule, and guess what? If you go back all the way to episode 1, when we went through the schedule month by month, you'll see that, oh, crap, this is a horrible, horrible schedule. Well, guess what? We've got a horrible part of the schedule. It doesn't get
We told you that.
I know. Who told you that? It doesn't get any easier, Flyers fans out there, unfortunately. You've got a brutal road trip coming up at Carolina. They're 7-2
at the moment. There's probably a game plan right now that we don't know about. But
you got
as of Saturday, November 2nd afternoon, they were 7-2.
Yeah, you've got Martin Necas, 15 points, leading the Canadians or the Carolina Hurricanes, not the Canadians. What am I talking about?
No, the
Hurricanes.
And he was the guy they wanted to trade because he was going to be an RFA. Like,
it's amazing. Crazy.
Good thing they didn't, I guess, right?
I guess not, no. Freddie Anderson, 3-1, 941 save percentage, 1.48 goals against. Oh, God.
Well, that means we'll score 7 goals on him because that's what
of course, yeah. That's why we're listing those stats out now. So it'll be 7-5 Flyers down there. Jinx. Then, of course, you got 2 former Flyers down there. Ghost. Who would have ever thought? Shane Gostisbehere, 9 points on the season so far. He's doing pretty well for himself. And then, of course, Sean Walker that they signed in the offseason. So that's going to be an interesting game. Go on. See.
I can picture Ghost scoring 9 points, but I can also picture him being like minus 470.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
He's Mike Green on steroids. And we had to trade a second round pick to get rid of him.
Yeah.
What the hell, Chuck Fletcher? Thanks a lot.
That was awful.
Thanks for nothing.
Seriously. Yeah.
Jackass.
And then you go down to Florida. and it ain't going to be easy, man. Tampa Bay and Florida. Tampa Bay Thursday, Florida Saturday. Tampa Bay, of course, all-world. Kucherov, 18 points. Getzel, 12 points. Jake Getzel, of course.
Their new addition, yeah.
Yeah, and Andre Vasilevsky, of course, 6-4.
Well, those are pedestrian numbers.
Barry.
They've played, again, as of the recording, 11 games.
Mm-hmm.
He's started 10 of them. They're going to
crazy.
ride his ass into the ground.
Oh, there's no question. He's starting like 70 of the 82 games.
Oh, yeah. But 6-4, 906 save percentage, 2.54 GAA. Those are
outstanding,
un-Vasilevsky-like numbers.
Yeah. You just wonder how long, though, that horse is going to keep going. You know, I mean, I understand that maybe that's their number one goalie. It is their number one goalie, I should say. But, how long do you just keep that going? Where is your goalie depth, essentially, right, at the end of the day? So that's going to be interesting. What's very interesting is that specialty units, both power play and penalty kill, below average right now.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with Stamkos getting out of here. That might have something to do with it. You don't have him on the far side shooting that one-timer, that typical one-timer used to
Yeah, but
do.
you would still think with guys like Kucherov and Braden Point and Jake Gensel, you'd have a better power play than they do.
Exactly. So maybe there might be some 5-on-5 opportunities. You never know. Florida, we did play them tough last year, but this is the defending Stanley Cup champions. They look terrific against the Stars in Finland. Sam Reinhart with 9 goals. You got Alexander Barkov. He came back to the team during the Finland series. They swept the Stars, Steve. I mean, it was pretty much like it wasn't even close. So Dallas is one of the top teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
But Bobrovsky, of course,
They're doing it with offense, though, because Bob's numbers are pedestrian.
Yeah.
892, 3.08 GAA. So they're out there outscoring team. Well, yeah, you have to outscore a team to win.
Yeah.
They are relying on heavy offense.
Yeah.
To win these games. It's because Bob's having a Bob moment.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you've got essentially like a road trip where you're going to be lucky to win one of those games. So you need to scrape points away, right, Steve? You need to get at least one, maybe 2. Think of it of just trying to get to that overtime period as best you possibly can. Of course, we got our backup goaltenders going in there, so that's what you're hoping. Play good road defense. Should be all right, but
again, the 2 goalies in Florida are not playing up to their normal numbers. So maybe you have a chance, but you got to hit the net.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Then we have an interesting second half of this schedule. You've got the San Jose Sharks. They started winless in their first 9, but they've won 3 in a row since then. Their big number 1 draft pick, Celebrini, has played 1 National Hockey League game. He is week to week, currently out. I don't know, Steve, do you know what it is? Could be upper, lower body, maybe? I don't know.
I think it was a lower body injury.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that, but he's listed as week to week. The reports are he's close, I think, to coming back. So he'll probably be playing by the time they get here.
Yeah.
I would assume, but who knows?
You just never know.
But they also have Logan Couture on IR. They have a bunch of injuries.
Yeah.
Couture's on IR. They have a couple other players who are key. At least, thank God, they're not coming in here looking for their first win because they would just get it against us.
No question. Yeah.
Thank God they already won.
They've won already.
Get that out of their system.
Yeah, get that out of their system. All that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Then a quick road trip to Ottawa that following Thursday, it was the 14th. So you have Brady Tkachuk, I believe it is, and Stutzel, each with 14 points. Claude Giroux, 5 goals, 6 assists, heading into this recording, playing terrific Claude Giroux hockey. I mean, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Their power play is all world. It's one of the tops in the NHL at 36%.
So Flyers take no penalties in that game.
Pretty much. Although I'm pretty confident in our penalty kill. Our penalty kill's right up there in the top 5.
Agree.
So, but their penalty kill is not great. But who knows? Maybe our power play will start to. That might be a difference there.
Ottawa was a team when we started the season. I was like, they didn't make the playoffs last year. I thought they would be better than they were, but I still don't know what they are. And as of now, they are 5-5. So I still don't know what they are.
Yeah.
They're a 500 team.
Yeah. They're kind of like right in that mix of that Atlantic Division right now. And so you just, to your point, you just don't know what the heck this team is. that kind of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they finish off against
who you don't know what they are.
Yeah, exactly. Is the Buffalo Sabres, for crying out loud. They stink on the power play. They stink. 9%. I mean, can you imagine if they're going to be like worse than the Flyers of last year? That would be even better.
Is it 9% up from like 6% though? I thought they were at 6% like when we talked.
Yeah, they must have scored at least 1 or 2 power play goals then in their last game, which is like that must have been an accident. But
that's interesting that their power play is that bad. What's considering Tage Thompson?
Yeah,
you'd think he got 40 last year, didn't he?
I think he did.
Yeah, he's already got 13 points. He recorded the hardest shot in the last 4 seasons at 104.69 miles per hour.
That's insane.
And he's a big guy. He's like 6'6" or something.
Yeah,
crazy like that. He's a huge. So they're gonna have to watch him
like very carefully.
Careful with him.
Yeah, exactly. So looking at those 6 games ahead of it, of course, Steve, the road trip, and it's not looking good at all. I mean, I'm not liking that at all. But the back half, you got some winnable games, hopefully, crossing the fingers. I mean, San Jose, Buffalo at home, you're at Ottawa. I mean, who knows, right? At the end of the day, the second half of this week, of the next week, basically.
Yeah, you could foreseeably beat San Jose and Buffalo. Depends on which Ottawa team you get.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could get 4 to 6 points out of that.
Yeah.
If we can play up to our standard. The road trip before that, if they can get 2 points, maybe 3. Just get something, please, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you go over, I mean, it's not going to be good at this point if you go over on that trip, and it has the markings that it might this week.
Here's where I stand. Even if you go over, it's just as long as they're competitive in the game.
Yeah,
that's really what I'm looking for.
And they show promise, and they continue to prove.
These 3 teams, Florida, they're the defending Stanley Cup champions. Tampa Bay is a perennial threat, and Carolina is always knocking on the door. Those are 3 teams that you could consider cup contenders. If you can be competitive with them, at least you show that you were taking steps.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like 2 years ago when we would go to play the Rangers and we'd get blown out of the building 9-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if there's no points, as long as you're competitive, I will view that as a positive step.
Yeah. Keep it close. Play good road hockey. If you could replicate the success you had in Boston, that's going to be the key. I mean, you have to play all world in front of your goaltender, and that's going to be the challenge heading into this week. Got 3 top contenders. I mean, no question about it. They're right up there at the top of the division.
Keep blocking shots, which is easy for me to say because it's not my body.
No. So. I mean, that's the thing. Block shots, transition offense, and get some dirty goals. That's probably the biggest thing you got to do. Get those dirty, grindy goals in there. You got a shot. You got a chance. Anything's possible in the National Hockey League if you do those things.
Advice to Michkov, block shots from the front.
Yeah.
Don't turn your back, because I saw him get a shot in the back in the St. Louis game. I'm like,
you could face it. You could definitely tell he's learning. He's definitely this is not the KHL, no question about it. He's going through it right now. But you hope that with the talent of him, he's going to get better and he's going to learn how to be even more crafty with the puck.
Yeah. My concernometer on him was a 0.
Yeah, totally.
I don't want him getting a shot in the back.
No.
That's what I don't want to see. No. So from the front, use your shin pads.
Yeah, exactly. Don't turn your body. Don't turn your butt.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't do a Nick Sealer and face first. Don't do
that. Yeah.
Let him do that. He can do that.
He knows how to do that, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, that ends episode 3 of the Men in Orange and Black. We're great that you're here and you've listened this long to our podcast. We really appreciate all the likes. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. We really do appreciate it. And again, if you're here, like you haven't done any of those things and you're a Penguins fan, like just get the hell out of here. Seriously. We do appreciate you listening this long, but at the same time, just get out.
And if you don't dislike Matt's wild pun, I want you to post a screenshot of him with devil horns drawn on.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Okay.
For Steve, I'm Matt. Let's go Flyers.